Hey there guys, SaintsKnight here, welcoming you guys back to the channel here with another anime review, and this time it is a double review actually, because I may have missed an episode of what we're talking about today, so that's why we're doing the latest two together. So actually, and if you couldn't tell, we are reviewing Sword Art Online Alicization, which frankly I know how to pronounce now. Episodes number 6 and 7. And as always in all of our reviews, clarification time. There will be absolutely zero spoilers whatsoever, so that people who haven't seen it yet but are watching this review to actually check it out, see how it is, can do so spoiler free. And as well as that, if there is anything that if you agree with everything that's being discussed in this review, good. If you do not agree with everything that's discussed in this review, also good as well. This is just my personal opinion, so you should take this list as of all lists with a little pinch of salt. And whatever your thoughts, please, we encourage you to leave your comments down below on your thoughts and opinions. So without further ado, let's dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to keep seeing these reviews on the channel, you know what to do. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. So let's dive into episode number 6 of SAO Alicization with another one that's actually set in the real world, actually, where it immediately picks up where the last one left off, which again, I'm not going to say go check out the episode or go check out the review or free summarization, but basically in the last episode they were trying to search for Kirito, and this one we actually find him. And basically these people give out like why because he's in the hands of a character who's actually been in SAO 2, if you started off in SAO 2, Kikuroka, the like sort of like in the defense Ministry of Defense over there, but in the virtual reality division. Now he explains why he has Kirito. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, but the overall premise for him, his motivations and everything, this entire episode, to me at least, it felt like a Black Mirror episode. It felt to me like an episode of Black Mirror, because it had that same sort of element, and it has the same sort of like real world implications, which everything in Alicization, well, in this episode, can actually be possible, and I have no doubt in my mind that people are actually trying to actually get this as well achieved, but are failing, so they may use this for inspiration. As well as it being a very Black Mirror-esque episode, the concepts presented to us in this episode are really quite intriguing, and by the end of the episode I actually wanted to find out more about why Kikuroka is doing what he's doing, why I wanted more like answers. It left me with a lot of questions, but a lot of questions that I made up myself, and gave satisfying answers to that as well. As well as that, the acting in this is superb by everyone, including Asuna, Kikuroka, the nurse who actually there's Aki, the nurse who actually was in the second one, I believe, and a new character called, I'm not sure about her first name, but I know it's Miss Rinko. This like doctor who knows about the technology and all that stuff. So actually the acting is really good, and there's a lot of emotional scenes, including like one like right at the either right at the very start or like just after the credits or actually from credits, or just like somewhere like within the first 5 minutes that really was like wow. Which I mean, it goes to show that Sword Art Online is actually growing up. It's actually moving on with times. It's actually becoming more of a grown up rather than being like too kiddie, which is a really nice touch. Although not everything's perfect, but if I had to nitpick on this episode, I would say that because it's in the real world, not much really happens. I mean, don't get me wrong. Should there be anime episodes that take their time and like be a bit slow? Yes. But this episode, it felt like that there was nothing but talking, explaining, which the explanations are good. The talking is really good. But for it being a Sword Art Online, you'd expect a little bit of fighting in there, but it's just a small nitpick. This is just a small nitpick on what is otherwise a fantastic episode, as it is a lot of the episodes, now that I think about it, actually. Which brings us to the final verdict. I'm going to give episode 6 of SAO Alicization a solid 9 out of 10. It's a really good, really enjoyable episode with intriguing concepts, very Black Mirror-esque tone, great acting, and lots of heavy emotion. If you like episodes with like lots of intense action, lots of violence, basically a lot of bombastic stuff happening, then you're not really gonna get that in this. So be warned if you're going to step into episode 6. So that is episode 6. Let's move on to the next episode, episode 7, which is a completely different change of tone from episode 6, because in this one in episode 7 we shift perspectives from the real world to actually back to Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh in Underworld. In Underworld, I believe it is. Yes, Underworld. And for them, I think it's about, in a previous episode, it was established that time moves differently in Underworld as opposed to the real world. So for Kirito, 2 years has passed since the last episode that he was in, and basically it's following the footsteps of him and Yu-Gi-Oh, who Yu-Gi-Oh is trying to fulfill his dream, like his new goal of actually being a swordsman. And they're helped with they get accepted into school and are taught by this woman, Lena. Now Lena, her scenes with Kirito are really great. They show that they have a good bond, they get on with each other, and they actually respect each other, and that they get along quite well. I mean, I don't think Asuna is probably going to be happy whenever he finds out about Lena, but as long as she helps him save, then I don't think Asuna will matter. As well as that, continuing on with the themes of Underworld, the world building, like the building of the world is actually very impressive. Not only visually, but the backstories, the history, stories, everything about it is greatly presented here. Could it have been done a little bit more? Yes, I mean, the books, the Alicization Rising books, which, if you're a fan of Sword Art Online, why haven't you got it? They explain it a little bit more. Actually, now that I think about it, they explain a little bit of a lot of episodes in the season so far. A little bit more. But the anime does do a very good job at the bare minimum, which is quite good. And lastly, the last good thing is that I should say mini spoiler here. So I don't know if I should put mini spoiler or not, but basically Kirito gets a new sword in this one, and of course it's the blue black, which the design of the sword, it's bloody awesome. Okay, the power, the power and the look, and as well actually being suited to Kirito's actually style and everything, which I think it's gonna be a case of this being like one of his most iconic swords, along with like Black Excalibur and his other ones. Again, if I were to nitpick, is that usually I don't like episodes of TV series when they end on a cliffhanger. Well, I don't mind it, but if it was done, yeah, I don't mind it if it's done good or if it's done bad. However, this one I felt a bit nit for the cliffhanger, which took it away a little bit. But overall, it doesn't take too much off of it overall, because as I said, the scenes with Lina and Kirito, the world building, and some of the stuff with his new sword, and some of the bonding with Yu-Gi-Oh are probably what save this episode, that keeps it from being trash. Which brings us to the final verdict for this episode. I give episode 7, this SAO Alicization, a solid 8 out of 10. I mean, it's not as good as episode 6, which was really good, but it wasn't the worst either. So an 8 out of 10 is probably perfect level for me. So those are my thoughts on episodes number 6 and 7 of Sword Art Online Alicization. What did you guys think? Whatever your thoughts, whatever your opinions, please leave them in the comments down below. And apart from that, I'm afraid it is now time to end today's video. We hope you guys did enjoy that. If you did, then please do me a huge favor. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you're not new, then don't forget to click the bell icon next to the subscribe button to get notified of all of our upcoming videos. And apart from that, we'll see you in the next video. So until then, it's your boy SaintsKnight here, signing off.